there is hope for the 7 ex-Indian Navy officers and 1 sailor who are on death row in Qatar. Now, on charges of espionage, these charges that have been completely denied by the Indian government, the External Affairs Ministry has now said that the Prime Minister met the Emir of Qatar on the sidelines of the climate change summit in Dubai recently, where the two leaders had a good discussion on the overall bilateral relationship, which included a conversation of the well-being of the Indian community, which presumably would include the Navy men as well. The allegations against them have come as a shocker, with no real clarity on why they were charged. Hearings on their appeals have now taken place, and the Indian ambassador has met them on the 3rd of December as well.
Prime Minister met the Emir of Qatar in Dubai on the sidelines of COP28. I think he put out a tweet. My understanding is that they're good conversation on the overall bilateral relationship as well as on the well-being of the Indian community, as he said. There have been 2 hearings. As you know, we filed an appeal, as is from the families, and the detainees had filed an appeal. 2 hearings have since been held. Meanwhile, our ambassador got consular access to meet all 8 of, in prison on 3rd of December. And as I said, this is a sensitive issue, but we will continue to follow, and whatever we can share, we will do so.
Right, on the show today, we look at whether there's finally hope for the families of the ex-Navy officers and sailor. Joining us on India Global this week, former Indian ambassador to Kuwait, Prabhu Dayal, and Captain DK Sharma, former spokesperson of the Indian Navy. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on India Global. Ambassador Dayal, to you first. Now, although next to nothing has been made public in this regard, do you believe there's a genuine sense of hope now, especially after Narendra Modi met with the Qatari Emir? We are aware that in the Gulf sector, the power of the ruler is very important.
I am extremely optimistic after our Prime Minister's meeting with the Qatari Emir in Dubai just a few days ago. I've seen the visuals of that meeting on television, and there was great warmth between the 2 leaders. I can see it now in the picture that you are showing. Now, a lot of these decisions depend on what the Emir thinks, because in the Gulf Sheikdoms, the power of the ruler is very, very important. So, first of all, I think that the initiative taken by the Prime Minister to meet the Qatari Emir and, of course, discuss the welfare of the Indian community, those discussions must surely have included this issue of the arrest of the 8 naval officers, although nothing has been made public in this regard. But knowing how our Prime Minister works, he must have taken it on himself to discuss this issue with the Qatari Emir. And this is what gives me hope. You know, the personal initiative and the interest which the Prime Minister takes. As it is, things have started changing in the recent months. These officers were in detention since August 2022. There was nothing known about why they were arrested. Some disclosures have been made confidentially to our government in this regard, and there has been consular access given. Earlier, they were kept in solitary detention. Now, consular access was given to the representatives of our embassy, and following the Prime Minister's meeting, the ambassador has been given personal access, consular access to these detainees. So I have reason to be hopeful, and my hope, as I said earlier, comes out of Prime Minister's meeting with the Qatari Emir.
Right. Let's also bring in Captain DK Sharma. Captain, I think you'd agree with me when I say it's been a harrowing year for the former Navy personnel. But do you think these small steps will lead to a positive outcome? I mean, end of the day, the highest office in the country is directly dealing with the case.
You're very right. It's been a harrowing time for them for the last 1.5 years now, out of which 2 daughters were married without their father being present. What the worst can happen? I mean, say the parents, the fathers, the family is looking forward. They were supposed to join. They were, we were told tomorrow, day after. So it is all, I think, small steps are leading towards a good news, which is likely to come. And we know it all that the highest office in the country is directly, dealing with the case. So the families have got this assurance that the highest office is looking into it. You have to just hold your horses, remain patient. You have been patient for the last 18 months, and it's only a matter of time.
Right. Ambassador Dayal, we have enjoyed a great strategic relationship with Qatar. So this case, in a sense, was a sort of blot. But what's your assessment now? What's the way forward?
It's a sensitive matter. There is a judicial aspect. There is the matter now before the Court of Appeal. If it's rejected, it can still go up to the Court of Cassation. But knowing the overall atmospherics and knowing how things work in these Gulf Arab countries, the Sheikdoms, if the Sheikh or the Emir is well disposed, it makes a huge difference.